Tonight we're going to tell you about some projects going on here in Utah and remind you about a project we told you about back in December. Hey, I'm Adam Meikle and thanks for tuning in. Yeah, if you remember back in December, we told you about the 13 desert bighorn sheep that the Division of Wildlife moved from Tabiona out here to Promontory to a new facility that Sportsmen for Fish and Wildlife had built. Well, this sheep herd now has more than doubled thanks in part to this facility and to the DWR's partners at Nevada Game and Fish.
It's a pretty big day for us and for this facility. This is kind of the ending of the stocking phase of this facility, and I think from here they're just going to take off. So we're pretty excited.
Dozens of DWR employees and many volunteers were on hand to watch Steve Sorensen swing the gate open on a trailer holding the future of many Utah sportsmen's dreams. These 20 desert bighorn sheep are the newest members of a nursery herd that Sportsmen for Fish and Wildlife and the DWR initiated back in December. Back then, if you remember, we told you about the 13 initial bighorn sheep that were moved from a facility in Tabiona to this new facility here on Promontory Point. The hope is that this herd will do better here than it did in Tabiona.
This has amazing bighorn sheep habitat. I mean, bighorn sheep, they want high visibility, steep slopes, rock outcroppings, and this fits the bill on every one of those criteria for bighorn sheep. Ever since we put bighorn sheep here in December, so the last 6 months or so, not a single mortality, and these animals are thriving. It's a good place.
Pretty exciting to go from 13 to 42 in less than about 6 months.
Yeah, it's really exciting. We had our first lamb the end of March, and then we continued to lamb through April. We had 10 ewes and they had 9 lambs. So that's about as successful as you could ever hope for. You never see that in a wild population. And so that was great. And then to augment it now with 20 more sheep, including a bunch of prime age ewes, we're really excited. These sheep came from Nevada, Valley of Fire State Park in Nevada down by Lake Mead. Both the original resident population that was here from a transplant a couple years ago and the transplant today, both came from the same place. When Nevada has too many sheep on a certain unit and they're over objective, they've got to reduce densities, then we're glad to take them off their hands. We're planning on helping Nevada with some mountain goats this fall as well.
In 2018, we rewrote our statewide bighorn sheep management plan, and one of the things that we focused on was exploring the idea of nursery herds. And ever since that day, we've been looking for places where it would make sense to put in a high fence and put bighorn sheep there, so that way we can use them as source stock for future translocations. Sportsmen for Fish and Wildlife has been an amazing partner throughout all this. They stepped up and helped find a location from a really wonderful family in the Richmonds, and they had a shared vision and shared goals, and as a result, we were able to get this piece of property, put a fence around it, and put bighorn here to produce and use as future source stock. So we're way excited.
Money raised at the Western Hunting and Conservation Expo's conservation permit auctions and expo permits helped purchase the land. There was also private donors that stepped up to help fund the fencing project. Troy Justison, president of SFW, was the first to have a vision of this facility and what it could do for Utah sportsmen. And even though he just had open heart surgery 10 days earlier, he wasn't about to miss this release.
A dream. And just, seeing one step closer to the preservation of desert bighorn sheep in the state of Utah, and the partnership that exists between us and Utah Wild Sheep and the Division of Wildlife Resources. And a lot of people put their heart and soul into this. Amazing to watch them take off and run up that, and to think that between this year's lamb crop and now the kindness of Nevada giving us more sheep, that we doubled once and now we've doubled it again. And so this is pretty cool.
When these sheep were captured down in Nevada, it was 114 degrees out here at Promontory. It's only about 99. It must feel pretty balmy to them. And look at all this feed out here that they have to utilize. DWR officials, Sportsmen for Fish and Wildlife, they're all pretty excited at what this facility is doing and will do in the future for both the wildlife watcher and those that enjoy hunting desert bighorn sheep.